Good morning. It's a beautiful sunny day in New York City, though frigid. And as you know, I am cancer-free. However, as part of the continuing treatment to make sure that cancer doesn't return, I will be going through radiation next week for the next 5 weeks. My radiation starts on the 26th of January. To say that I wasn't concerned, that would be a lie. However, my anxiety is not taking over my life. I'm prepared. I still practice mindfulness. Every single day I sit down and I do my body scan, and I find that extremely helpful because when I do it, it's almost self-validating. I don't have to feel any pain anymore. It's a pleasure. Let me show you a couple of items that I was given for self-protection at the hospital. I was given this mask and shield to wear when I come there for the treatments. And if I wear my KN95 mask, then I have these goggles to put on. And they cover my eyes, so no air or droplets will hit my eyes. And because my stomach is my weak point. I said pot. That's probably true as well. I was so intent on not being frail that I've actually gained 2 pounds since the surgery. And I'm going back to exercising and doing my Feldenkrais and being aware of what I put into my body so that I don't gain more weight. I'm certainly not fragile, but I don't need to have a belly either. I've been given pantoprazole, which is for stomach acid, since the radiation may increase the acid in my stomach. So I don't know. This is what I'm doing. I don't know if any of you have been doing the same. I wish you success if you're going through any of the procedures for cancer therapy. All I know is I've been told I don't have to run out and get my cemetery plots yet, thank God, and thank my physicians. So follow the orders, do what they say, tell them how you feel all the time, and perhaps we'll all have a good outcome. Which brings me to, where are we in our society? And what bothers me today? I see us as being what I call morally bankrupt. And I bet you're wondering, what do I mean by that? And what I mean is not caring about others. And I know that from experience. When I was a young woman of around 25, 26, and suffering from an autoimmune disease, which is, I don't know, germane or not to what we're talking about. I had 2 little kids, about 2 and 4, and I only cared about protecting them. That's all that really mattered to me. Could I protect them? Did I worry about others? Not even a little. And that has haunted me my entire life, because that's not who I am and who I became. And in the end, I found out I really wasn't protecting my 2 kids either. I didn't find that out until I was in my 50s. But all my life, I've suffered and felt guilty and beaten myself up. And so now, you better believe, in hindsight, now that I've been through life and I've seen a lot, and I know living is not always an upward projection. It may look like that it was planned at the end of your life, but it never is. Living is in fits and starts, and you can have the ecstasies and the despair. It's all those things. But one thing that should always be there in your head when you have wisdom and you're not morally bankrupt, like I had been as a young woman for maybe a year. But that year made me feel ashamed and guilty for the rest of my life. Don't put yourself in that position. Don't be morally bankrupt now. You have the opportunity, every one of us, we're so fortunate. We have a vaccine. The vaccine does not eradicate COVID, but it certainly makes it so that when you do become infected, if you're not careful, and even if you are careful, you might have a breakout disease. Get the vaccine. Protect yourself and your children and your community. Even if you don't even feel the symptoms. A couple of my friends have been totally asymptomatic, but they know. They go out into the world, they go out to eat, they go to the theater when it's available, or a movie. They know to take the rapid tests, and if they test positive, they stay home for 5 to 10 days. In my case, because I'm considered immunosuppressed, I've been alone again since probably Christmas. I was told when COVID was on the rise not to let anyone in my apartment, and it still holds true today, unless they take a rapid test right before seeing me, and we both wear KN95 masks. And truthfully, anyone who comes here, none of us is morally bankrupt. We care about each other. We care about our communities. And again, we're so fortunate. We have the vaccine. Take it. We're one of the least vaccinated countries in the Western Hemisphere, where there's no excuse when over 2,000 folks a day are dying. No excuse. Anyone who says they've got a reason not to take the vaccine, there isn't any. It is for the public good. Freedom is wonderful. I want the freedom to be able to go out again and to go into restaurants. And I can't do that as long as COVID is ascendant. And we'd like a great economy, and we can't do that either. And we cannot do the legislation that we need either, because we have folks in Congress, whether it's on the local, the state, or the federal level, where they're morally bankrupt. They care about me, me, me. And we, the people, are not their constituents. Their constituents are the big donors, big money, and the industries. We have almost every industry in this country that's a monopoly. They can charge whatever they want. And we need that social safety net to pass. The For the Families Act is good for America. The more money we pile into infrastructure, it's good for America and Americans. We need that transportation. We need it all over the country. We need connectivity all over the country. I'm beginning to think that folks in Congress don't even know how to write laws. Because if they did, I understand being selfish, but I don't understand wanting to destroy a country and fellow countrymen like ours. Mark Twain said, "Who needs Lake Como in Italy?" And it's a magnificent place in Italy, beautiful lake, when we have Lake Tahoe. And I know, I've been to Lake Tahoe. I drove with my kids through California and out the Tahoe Meadows in Redwood Forest and into Lake Tahoe. And I watched as we descended the mountain and saw 4 states in front of our eyes in about 2 minutes. It was breathtaking. So we're at a juncture. We can't stay still, folks. We can't let more people die. We can, but what's the purpose? From my vantage point, I see it as winner-take-all politics. But what's the purpose if what you're getting is a bereft society, a society that cannot feed itself, that cannot learn, that cannot think for themselves, and cannot produce? We need that old competitive spirit, that can-do spirit that we had. Like I talk about when I put articles on Twitter, like solar panels over parking lots and over every big box store. We would save millions of metric tons of carbon if we did that. And it's easy to do it. And if we put storage batteries attached to it, then they could utilize their energy when they needed it and not have to pay very significant costs. And I read something amazing from Israel, that they are using heat exchangers and electrical power to draw water out of the air. Wouldn't that be wonderful in some of our communities? They're running dry on water. So there's so much we can do. To me, it is choose life. Choose the freedom so that we all live and live well. And learn to be a community again and collaborate with each other so that we can improve each other's lives. Why be nihilistic? You know, you never know when life gives you a funny turn. So let me tip my hat to you and tell you from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for joining me on my journey. God bless you all. and I'll see you next week after my first treatment. Bye now, and take care.